Hey guys, happy Throwback Thursday. It is the day before your FSA, so this is probably one of the most important days because this is a time where you are going to really review and focus on everything that we have learned throughout the whole week. So let's go ahead and get started. Let's get started with our PDN right away. So this should look familiar to you because this was on your test. This talks about the text features that we learned last week. So here we have our table of contents, we have our title, we have our picture, right? Then we have a small excerpt that says severe storms happen in low pressure weather systems. So I know that the topic is severe storms, right? Warm, wet air begins rising into the air. The higher it rises, the cooler it becomes. Water vapor in the air forms drops, a process called condensation. The drops join together to form clouds, and then precipitation of some kind, rain, sleet, snow, or hail, will fall down to Earth's surface. So let's go ahead and read what the first question is. And all of these questions are based on the text features that we talked about last week. What other topic should be included in the table of contents of this book? So the reason why I read the short passage is one, to figure out what the topic is, and then to figure out what could be also included in the table of contents. So I know that this book must be talking about types of dangerous storms, right? um, a tornado is a dangerous storm, or a hurricane is a dangerous storm. So, in my mind, which one of these would be another topic that could be added into this table of contents? And in my mind, it would be blizzards, right? Because blizzards are definitely a dangerous storm because one, it's snow and it's extremely cold, right? And blizzards are usually when snow is like a large amount, right? And it could do a lot of damage. Two, what page would you find more information on tornadoes? So here you have to go to the text feature table of contents. So I know I would find more information on the pages 5 through 9 because those are the pages that talk about tornadoes. And so when it says 5 through 9, that means pages 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So that means that page 8 would definitely be a page where I could find more information on tornadoes. Let's continue. Number 3. It says, what sentence from the passage will best serve as a caption for the picture of this passage? And so, I know that the picture is a picture of a tornado. And so which one would be most reasonable to have a caption or to talk about this caption? And so since the picture is of a tornado, I know that B would be the best caption for this picture, okay? Because it's talking about a tornado and what it looks like and what it does. So let's go ahead and continue working on our vocab work. This is our last word for this week. Our Latin and Greek root is post, and graduate is our root word. And so post is a Latin root that means after, and graduate basically means a person who completes a level of academic. Okay. All right. And so when you put those two together, a postgraduate is a person pursuing or a person studying higher level skills after a college graduation. So when you're a postgraduate, they're referring to you after you graduate college, whether that is getting your master's, whether that is going to medical school, going to law school. This is considered to be a postgraduate, okay? So I'll say Miss Simmons was a postgraduate in 2011, okay? Because that is when I got my first master's. So how do you know that the woman is a postgraduate? I know because she looks like an older woman and as if she is studying future skills after college. Okay. All right, good. So let's go ahead and continue with our board equals paper. Here is where we're going to be reviewing every genre that we talked about this week. So as you can see, I got rid of some of the information and we're literally just going over the definitions of each genre type, okay? So first we talk about realistic fiction, which are events that happen in real life, right? With characters who are not real. Okay. And then realistic fiction has realistic details and situations that people could face. And we know that historical fiction is, of course, not real, but the setting is drawn from history and it contains historical facts, okay? Fantasy, this is just straight up not real, okay? And these are things that could not happen in real life, okay? And then science fiction is a type of fiction that uses science and technology, okay? And then mystery, a type of fiction that uses clues and purposefully puts the solution at the end of the story. Okay, and so when you look at these guys, all of these genres we pretty much talked about. We know poetry, we know informational, we know about science fiction, fantasy, realistic. The only ones we haven't really talked about is biography and autobiography, which are part of nonfiction, and that is something we're going to go over next week. Okay. So let's go ahead and begin. This part is the model and the guided practice together because it's pretty long. We're going to read the short phrases or sentences, and then we're going to figure out which one of these elements are the genre that we see. Okay? So if you don't know, just quietly follow along through, and we're going to do it together. So let's go to number 1. It says, and let's go ahead and use another color. Barb and Martin wrote a true story about what their lives were like growing up as brother and sister. And so first of all, it says that they wrote a true story, right? They wrote the true story themselves about growing up as brother and sister. Okay. Um, we can actually skip this one because and we can go back. Let's go to number 2. Jack and Jill went down the hill on their way to school. Jill dropped her books and got dirty looks, all because she wasn't cool. So, guys, we know that this rhymes. It has stanza. It has lines. So we know that this is poetry. So when I said we're going to go back to number 1, that's because I wasn't too sure about number 1. And so the easiest thing is to do the things that you know that are the easiest first and go back to the hard ones. That's a good strategy to have. So number 3, Professor Paul P. Puffinbaker has been working on a new invention. So first of all, they're talking about invention, a device that should be able to transport him through time and space. And so they're talking about invention, space, all of that. And so we know that that is talking about science. And so this must be science fiction. Actually, let's go back. Science fiction. Okay, good. And then we're going to go and cross that out. So next, what are you doing today? Tom the turtle asked Marley Mouse. Not much, Tom. Marley replied, I was thinking of going into town later. Want to walk in and get some ice cream with me? So, first of all, Tom the turtle and Marley Mouse are both animals and they're talking. Usually, when animals are talking, we know that that has to be a fantasy because it can't happen in real life. Okay, so we have a few more left. Uh-oh, I skipped number 4. Let's go back to number 4. Katie has been begging her mom for a kitten. She always wanted a pet, so we know kitten is something that's real. She always wanted a pet and really thinks she'd be able to take care of one. Now she just has to convince her mom. Will mom ever agree? So we know that this can happen in real life because she's asking mom for a pet, and most of you guys ask your parents for pets. And so I would say that this is realistic fiction. Okay. All right, let's go to number 6. This is an exciting tale of Jeb, a Union soldier. They use the word soldier. We know they usually soldiers were back in history. A young Confederate soldier. So Union and Confederate, these are terms from history. Who became unlikely friends in the world of times. Read about Jeb's frightening capture during battle and Mark's heroic rescue of a friend. So we know that soldier, all of these terms, Confederate, Union, describe historical fiction. Okay.